Welcome everyone to the NoDQ.com live predictions video for WWE Survivor Series WarGames 2025 edition. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I very much appreciate your viewership and support. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody and get everyone's overall thoughts before we dive into the predictions. First up, we got Dwayne back with us this week for predictions. Dwayne, how are you feeling about Survivor Series on a scale of 1 to 10?
Pretty good about it as well. This had a pretty good build as far as for it being just a couple weeks build toward it. I think they had a heck of a build up for both WarGames match and the 2 additional matches added as well. So I'm looking forward. 9 out of 10. It's great to be back, man.
All right. Absolutely a pleasure to have you on. Oof, we'll go to you next. We're coming off Full Gear. We had Blood and Guts with a lot of violence, and now we got WarGames, which will not be quite as violent, but WWE still knows how to make these matches exciting. What are your thoughts on this upcoming event?
Yeah, like Dwayne said, the hype has been pretty good. Even though I still stand that of the 2 WarGames matches, I feel like the women's had the more feel or the need for it than the actual men's, but it's WWE. If you do it for one, you got to do it with the other. And I'll talk about make the little connections between Blood and Guts and WarGames as we go with the predictions. A little bummed out. It's only 4 matches, but that's the Triple H special. And so get ready for 4 matches and tons of commercials of how wonderful a great city San Diego is. And we should go visit it. And I can probably predict that we'll probably see a couple come to Saudi Arabia for the Rumble as well. But I'm excited for it. You know, it's Thanksgiving season. It's Survivor Series. I'm probably going to, as we head towards Saturday, just watch some old Survivor Series. Probably 92 is one of my favorites, 96. And of course, something happened in 97, but I don't know. But, I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, if anybody in the chat wants to tell me something happened in 97, I don't know. But overall, I'm excited to talk about wrestling with you fine gentlemen.
It's a pleasure to have you on, Oof, as always. Dave, we'll go over to you next. Welcome back. How are you feeling about this year's Survivor Series?
I think it's as we've already heard, it's a good build. I think we've had a good build up. I think the women's has had a better build up, as Uthman said, and I think a lot of that was derailed by Seth's injury. I think it would have been a little bit different. I don't know if Cody and Drew would have been involved or not. Not sure. But I'm saying about an 8. I think only one match is probably, and I think you guys know which one is probably the easiest to pick. But I think an 8. And I wish there was more matches, but I had said in the chat earlier, there still could be another match added tomorrow. I'm not sure, but there was rumors out there about one more match. So we have one more Raw to see.
Yes, and unfortunately, I had no other day we could do this stream because Thursday's Thanksgiving, and we got the NoDQ review on Tuesday, and we got other shows. SmackDown was already taped, and I was maybe very slightly influenced by SmackDown, but not much. And they'll probably do the men's advantage match on Raw, and that could persuade people. But I feel like, I'm just going to say now, I feel like the heels will win that advantage match and have that for the WarGames match at Survivor Series. But this guy, I'm going to throw it over to you now and get your thoughts on this show on a scale of 1 to 10. Go ahead.
Well, Aaron, before I posted in the chat this past Monday when Brock came back that it got me to the point where I'm going to actually purchase ESPN Plus just to watch it. So, I mean, that goes without saying. Originally, I was at maybe a 5. I didn't really care that much because they keep doing these WarGames matches. But as soon as Brock came into the picture, it shot all the way up to 8. So, really, really enthusiastic about this one.
Yeah, I am hyped up for the 2 WarGames matches. I definitely think that the lineups are stacked for these matches. The undercard is fine. You know, John Cena in his last PLE match versus Dominic. It's a rematch from what we saw on Raw. We got Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. We'll see if Will there be some twin magic? But we'll talk about that in just a moment. I'm going to say 8. I'm pretty hyped up for the show, and it's also the first Survivor Series to be held in a stadium at Petco Park in San Diego. And going back to the old WWE pay-per-views like WrestleMania 3, I was always a fan of like when the show was in a stadium and it would start off light outside and then get dark by the end. I just thought that was cool as a kid. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be like 4 p.m. Pacific time when the show starts, so it'll still be light outside. I'm hyped up for the vibe of the show. It'll be different from your typical Survivor Series. And yeah, I think the WarGames matches have a lot of potential to be among the better WarGames matches. But let's go ahead and get to the matches. We only got 4, but they're 4 big ones. We'll start off with the Women's Championship match first. We got Stephanie Vaquer defending her Women's World title against Nikki Bella. Now, I mentioned Twin Magic earlier. I'm curious as to what everyone thinks about this match, because you could say, oh, this is just a filler match for Stephanie Vaquer. But if Nikki loses this after just turning heel, where does she go from there? Like, does she challenge again at some point? And I mentioned the Twin Magic because there have been the rumblings about Brie possibly coming back, and she said she has one more run in her. Could we have the old Twin Magic trick with Brie coming in there and Nikki wins the title by cheating and Stephanie has to be on the chase for a little bit? I mean, Stephanie has been pushed very strongly, and she really hasn't had any adversity in WWE. She's come in, she's been booked to the top. She won the NXT title. She was holding 2 titles. Then she went to the main roster and won at Evolution, and she's just been on a complete roll. So what do you guys think? Does Stephanie's run continue here? Do they have a screwy finish to set up another match at Saturday night's main event? What do you guys think? Dave, I will go to you first one on this. What do you see happening in this one?
Well, I'm not sure. I know we're all seeing about Brie out there, and I'm not sure if she'll show up or not. I was wrong about a lot of the things I said the other night about Full Gear, so I'm kind of leery about what I want to say. But I think I went against Stephanie once and I paid for it on predictions, and I think that she continues. She hasn't had a long enough run, and the adversity will come because we got WrestleMania season. But I think Stephanie's going to win this match, and Nikki will just, I'm sure there'll be a feud out there for her. There's people on the face side that she can face.
All right. Thank you for that, Dave. All right. Oofman, we'll go to you next. Do you agree with what Dave just said?
Well, I actually agree with what you said, Aaron, as much as I hate for, as you know, I am no fan of either Bella's, but bringing the Twin Magic would make sense. And like you said, Nikki just turned heel. And then I could not just sit here. I don't know what I would do if I'm sitting here and I'm watching her arm being raised in the air with the belt on the other hand. I would just probably lose my mind. I know Gina will be smiling from ear to ear, but no, like you said, Stephanie has been on a roll. Let's keep it going on a roll. Let her face adversity come, quote unquote, WrestleMania season by the Rumble. Give her an opponent at the Rumble, and then maybe if she maybe loses the belt at the Rumble versus losing it now, and then she'll gain it back probably before WrestleMania. But I still see Stephanie walking into WrestleMania with the title. But if you're going to make Stephanie chase the belt, I'm praying to the wrestling gods that she's not chasing Nikki of all people. Maybe we do see Twin Magic at this Saturday at Survivor Series and it fails. And so maybe just to get her another person on the card, maybe this time she faces Brie and there's your little entanglement towards the Rumble. But Stephanie's hopefully, and I know I will be praying that she does retain. And again, I'll even say yes to the Twin Magic, but the Twin Magic will fail and Stephanie retains and still is your Women's World Champion.
All right. This guy will go to you next. That's 2 for Stephanie. What do you think?
Aaron, you know I don't like either of these women. On a personal level, I never met them. I'm not a fan at all of Vaquer. All the recent females that they've added to the roster the last 2 years, other than Tiffany Stratton, Really not a fan of them. They get pushed to the moon way too hard, way too soon. That being said, also never been a fan of the Bellas, except for brief, like a short period of time. But enough of the preamble. I am a man of two minds on this situation. One, obviously Vaquer is going to win, but at the same time, I would rather your situation happen. What you said earlier makes sense. I would love that to happen. As much as I despise the Bellas of like period, they're trash and never ever been good at all. I basically turn into virtue at that point. I would love people to be pissed off about the situation if Vaquer loses. Sorry, Oof, but if Nikki gets her hands raised, I would be applauding. I would be laughing. It's weird. 2025 for the women's division has been like a weird roller coaster ride for me because like one situation other than like Nikki Bella, we have the Becky Lynch thing. I thought there would be never a day in my life where I'd be rooting for Becky Lynch to be doing anything positive, like period, and like as a character, not the actual person that plays her, but the character Becky Lynch. I thought I never would like her, but because that whole nonsense with Bird Girl, whatever, I was on her side the entire time. Whenever it's just a weird. 2025 is just a weird. This is a weird year for me. And anyway, enough of that. Yes, I'm going with Vaquer. No, screw it. I'm going to be an odd man out. I'm not going to go with Vaquer. I'm going to go with Nikki Bella. I really hope she wins this. But it's pretty obvious that Vaquer is going to win. But I'm just going to go with Nikki on this situation.
All right, and I guess I'm going to go with Nikki. Look, I'm so far down in the predictions league. I don't even care at this point. I'm like 50-50 on this match, really. My initial thought process was Nikki is a filler opponent for Stephanie, but they just turned her heel, and I don't know where you go with her after this if she loses. Stephanie could always win it back at the Royal Rumble or something like that. It could be a short reign. So what the hell? I'm going to say Nikki, but I am very much torn on this one. I wouldn't be shocked if Stephanie just beats her and Nikki's back in the lower card or whatever. This guy?
I did have one more thing. Like a screwy finish to where it has to be a rematch. I believe it's going to be that situation because you can have twin magic where Brie is actually pinned instead of Nikki, and Vaquer wishes her hand, and then Nikki comes out like, "Hey, no, I never was pinned." Blah blah blah. And at that point in time, we can it will keep it to being Vaquer. So unfortunately, me and you will lose, but Nikki will get another match. At that point in time, I would really definitely hope that she would win that match. Again, I'm talking crazy. 10 years old, 10-year younger me would slap me in the face saying that nonsense. But yeah, but I think that's how it should go. It should be a screwy finish. And that would lead to Nikki getting another shot at the match, at the title. My bad.
All right, thank you for that. This guy, Dwayne, it's 2 apiece now, so you're the tiebreaker. Go ahead.
Where's your wife at?
No, she's in the room.
Okay, well, tell her forgive me in advance. Okay, if Nikki Bella will ever made her prime, if she ever had prime, it was 10 years ago. I'm sorry to say she really hasn't been that great to me. She's just a pretty face in a big company with a bunch of pretty other women with her. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they bring Brie Bella back, and she does come back, it's going to be them chasing the tag team titles because that's the one thing that they want to do. That this has been said since they even brought out the women's tag team titles. But that being said, hearing everybody else say, I really thought this was going to be a simple filler match for y'all, but y'all really got my mind twisted on this one. I like what Uthman said. I like what Aaron said. But I can't go against Stephanie, man. I'm really high on her. I don't know why this guy doesn't like her, but I respect his opinion of him as well. But I'm going to say Stephanie's walking out still champion.
All right, there you have it. So that's 3 for Stephanie for those of you that are into the predictions and you are influenced. 3-2 there in favor of Stephanie. 1 match down. We got 3 left to go. This one I'm also very torn about. So we got John Cena in his final PLE match defending against Dirty Dominik Mysterio in San Diego, which is Dominic's hometown, his home turf. And there's buzz about Dominic having new music. We'll see if that happens. So this is interesting to me because John Cena could win and stay champion and defend it and likely drop it to the winner of the tournament, but you necessarily don't need that. Also, do we want John Cena losing on his final PLE, or do we want the feel-good moment? I'm very torn on this one. Like, I could see this one going either way. So I'm really curious as to what you guys think. I'm going to be influenced by what you guys say. This guy, I'm going to go to you first, put you in the hot seat. What do you think about this one?
Had to do that to me, Aaron, right? Gosh, I don't know. I've been torn on this one. Oh gosh. Man. Because I mean, everything you said was correct. This is Cena's last PLE or pay-per-view, whatever. For one, I will say this: he needs to have Thugonomics. Yeah. This last time, this entire time during this 2025, it's a missed opportunity. Thugonomics should be there. But getting back to the match itself, Dom doesn't really need the title right now anyway. I think he's grown past it. If anything, I mean, if he can get another IC title reign or even US title reign before he can push to the big belts, no offense to anybody who likes those mid-card belts, I could see in 2026, 2027 at the very latest, 2027 more than anything. Yeah, the classic belt, classic IC up there. But the 2027 would be Dom's year to be world champion. WWE maybe not, but sort of as world heavyweight champion, like his dad. Definitely can see that in 2027. And this is the beginning of where it needs he lose in a valiant effort. He doesn't have to cheat. He can even start beginning to turn face in this match, and Cena can hold the championship, and then it could be a two-way victory for the tournament winner. Whoever wins, he gets the IC championship, as well as being Cena's last opponent and defeating them for that belt. So I'm just going to go with Cena on this one.
I'm going to say John Cena retains. I'm not going to wait because somebody in the chat room gave me an idea. I mean, the comment here was Ray turns heel, but I actually think Ray is going to help John Cena win. I think we're going to have the Judgment Day interference. It's San Diego. Booyaka 619. Rey Mysterio comes out there and costs his son the match, the biggest match of his son's career. And that'll set up because they already teased Rey versus Dominic are going to have one more clash. So I'm thinking Dominik Mysterio will be screwed over by his deadbeat dad and John Cena will retain. Dave, I'll throw it over to you now. Have at it.
This is so hard. Now I came into the stream knowing where I was going with this. And now you made that comment. Matthew made a great comment in the chat about having Cena lose his last two matches. It's like, the thing is, if he wins and keeps the title, I can't see Gunther being his last opponent because we all talked about Gunther. The IC title is going backwards for him. And it's like, so I'm torn. I'm torn. I was 100% Dom going in, and now I'm gonna. And I went with you, Aaron, on a couple of things the other night, and they backfired on me. But with this guy saying that, me and this guy were the ones that picked that Roman was going to lose that PLE, and no one else did. So, with that being said, I am going to take Cena also.
All right, thank you for that, Dave. Dwayne, we'll go to you next. So far, everybody's for Cena.
Me too. I never had any doubt for the fact being I was still shocked that he even won the title to begin with. I thought this was going to be him challenging for this match. Excuse me. Challenging for the title for this match, but they went backwards on us and gave it to him as well. This is a hard one to pull because they're in San Diego. They are going to be chewing the shit out of Dominic in this one. In fact, I have a theory that maybe this might be where they might do the full face turn for Dominic here, whereas Cena may embrace him after the match, win or lose. As far as the IC title itself, nobody has said anything that Cena's final match is going to be for the IC title. I think they're just assuming that's what it's going to be, and we're all assuming it's going to be Gunther, which looking at the brackets now, I don't see anybody on there that would possibly be besides Gunther. So I'm going with that as well. I'm going to stick with it. Cena's going to retain this title. I think they're going to wind up handing it over after this match, or possibly after his last match as well. So I agree with him. I don't think Dominic needs the belt back as well. He's already elevated himself with it as well. So I'm going with Cena retaining.
All right, there you have it. 4 for John Cena. Oof, you're last. What do you think?
So I don't know where it started. Probably a little bit after when he became face again, when all of a sudden everybody was saying, I think Cena should win the IC title so he could become a Grand Slam champion, yada, 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 yada. All right, it happened. Cool. It happened he won the IC Grand Slam champ. Cool. Now, as far as the last time is now tournament, if Cena walks into Saturday night's main event with the IC belt, and let's say it is Gunther, I think that just makes the outcome of that match so simple. Like, oh, of course Gunther's going to win. Of course he's going to win the IC title and beat Cena. On the flip side, I don't see the point of Cena retiring with the IC title. Now, if he was WWE champion or world champion, there I'd be like, okay, maybe Cena would win his last match, retire as a world champion. No disrespect to the IC. I love the IC as much as everybody else does. But I just think the outcome of his final match would be too obvious if he has the IC title, because clearly you'd have to put the belt on the line. Right. So on that note, I'm actually going to say that Dom becomes the new champ on Saturday, not with an assistance of a Rey Mysterio turning heel, no, but by a returning Liv Morgan coming back to help her Dom to distract Cena, or to just somehow cost Cena the match, and Dom retains. And how cool, and we all love a heel Dom. Imagine Dom walking around saying, I beat John Cena in his last pay-per-view match, and I took this back, meaning the belt. Dom could run with that. His heel, he will eventually turn face, but I don't think just yet. Just imagine Dom's cockiness of walking around saying, they could probably make a shirt out of it. I beat John Cena in his last pay-per-view match ever. And he can run with that till his face turn, which we know is coming eventually. But I say Dom becomes the new IC champ with an assistance of a returning Liv Morgan. And now we put the focus back on the tournament. If we do have Gunther versus Cena, no belt on the line, will Cena do the time-honored tradition and lose, or will he win? Now, with no belt on the line, that outcome there, I'm completely clueless. Does Gunther go over? Does Cena go over? So I say for Survivor Series, Cena will drop the IC title back to Dominik Mysterio with an assistance of a returning Liv Morgan.
All right, Dwayne, what would you like to add?
Kind of want to add on what he said there. If they're going to give a t-shirt like that for Dominic, then they need to give Gunther a shirt that says, I retire people then, if he beats John Cena.
Yeah, really?
Well, the little thing I have about that is, I don't know where I read it, but it made sense. Cena's retiring regardless, win or lose. So that's the whole thing about the tournament. It's like you get to face John Cena in his retiring match. Yeah, but he's retiring no matter what. So
but he also beat Goldberg as well. That's the point I was trying to go.
That you could add that as well. But overall, again, I know using logic in an illogical situation, Cena's retiring no matter win, lose, or draw. He's still retiring. So, but yeah, adding Goldberg's name to that, now Gunther can be like, I retired Goldberg and Cena, and Dominic can be like, well, I had Cena's last match ever on pay-per-view and I beat him. So that just adds to the cockiness that we know that this awesome heel character that Dom is doing.
All right. Thank you for that. Oof. You're the one man to go with Dom to win the title. We'll see what happens. All right, everybody. Quote William Regal, because it is time for, you guys supposed to say it.
Hopefully. Blood and guts. No, I'm sorry. WarGames.
Oh, come on.
WarGames.
WarGames. Hopefully the people watching knew their cue. But anyways, let's get to it. The first WarGames match, we'll start with the women's match, which will probably open the show as it typically does. It's a star-studded WarGames match. This is interesting because AJ Lee is front and center. So I guess she's the team captain over Rhea Bloody Ripley. But yeah, you got Rhea Io Sky, AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. That is a star-studded team going up against Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, Lash Legend in her first WarGames. Well, was she in NXT WarGames? I don't remember, but first main roster one for sure. We got Asuka and we got Kairi Sane. This is going to be a hell of a match, I think. Io is like a veteran of these women's WarGames matches. And what we're going to do for predictions is, in addition to picking the winning team, you guys will also be picking the two participants that you think will be starting the match. And you'll get a point for each person that you're correct on. So you got to pick one person for the face side, one for the heel side. Shout out to this guy for the $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Baron Corbin out of nowhere to retire John Cena. Just kidding, just kidding. Imagine that.
He did retire Angle, so I was there
You know,
live to see that.
Spoiler alert. They should have called an audible for SmackDown when Sheamus got injured. They should have made the call to Baron Corbin and had him come in as the fill-in for Sheamus in the tournament, just so people would freak out and be like, oh my God, is Baron Corbin going to retire John Cena? Spoiler, they didn't do it. I'm not going to say who the person was, but I think it would have been more entertaining than what they did. I'll just leave it at that. All right, let's get to it. Thank you for the super chat. Oof, I'm going to go right back to you on this one with the women. Which team do you think will win this one, and which two women will start the match? Go ahead.
All right, so I think it's going to be Io and Kairi to start off the match. They're just going to show what they can do. And as far as who goes over, it feels like the faces have been getting the momentum going. I think back to the, even though we have still one more week of shows to go tomorrow. Tomorrow and Friday, though taped. I just feel that the faces here for the women will get the win. I feel like they just have the momentum going, but the women the heel have been getting one over the ladies' face side. So I'm going to go with the faces for the women's match to get the win, and the two starters will be Io and Kairi, and they're going to put on a clinic for those little times that they have until the next opponent comes in. And as far as any crazy things go, well, I'm willing to bet some of these women saw the blood and guts match of the women in AEW a couple weeks ago. You have to wonder, did any of them actually go to management and be like, is there a chance one of us could at least bleed? Not all 5 or all 10, just maximum 1 or 2. Because they were dying inside. Like, can we have a little color? And then you have to wonder who would do that. Well, Becky last time when she got punched in the face by Nia, she sold it well. So maybe she went like, no, let me get color. Who knows? I just think the WWE women saw the AEW women match and went, wow, probably wishing they could do that too. Again, could one of the 10 gone up to Hunter and be like, listen, is it okay if I bleed? But it is WarGames, and I'm not saying all 10 women have to turn the canvas red or anything like blood and guts like weeks ago. But a little color would be nice. But I get it. It's WWE, and it's going to be weird. Probably like if a woman is like bleeding a gusher, and then they slam her on a table, and then you see the Slim Jim logo covered in blood. Okay, maybe I understand why they don't want blood. But I'm going to say the faces win this match with Io and Kairi starting it off.
All right. Thank you for that. Oof, I appreciate it. Dwayne, we'll go over to you next. What are your thoughts?
Pretty much agree with everything Oof said, except for one thing. I do agree that the faces will probably win this one. I like he brought up about Becky getting punched in the face, because I had just a funny thing about how I could possibly see them maybe doing that again by accident, where maybe Nia Jax accidentally punches somebody and they duck and hit Becky in the face again, and we see that. I kind of doubt that they would probably do that again, but I'm still saying face is going to win. I still think we're going to see Io do her no more trash can dive off the top. It's starting to become synonymous with WarGames as well. The only thing is Io started, I think, every women's WarGame match that I believe. So I'm going to say they may do something different. I think we're going to have Rhea, and I'm going to say Lash Legend start as well. They just called her up. Now she's going to have her chance to shine. She has all the time in the match to prove herself that they called her up for the right reasons at all. So those are my picks.
All right. Thank you, Dwayne. I want to take note of this. So I looked at the WarGames matches since 2022 when it started on the main roster, and all but one match, we had 2 in 2022, 2 in 2023, and then 2 in 2024. So that's 6 WarGames matches. Only one match the heels won, and that was 2022, the men's match when the Bloodline won. Every other match, including all 3 women's matches, were won by the baby faces. Just want to throw that out there. I'm very torn on this one. So I'm going to wait and let you guys do the picks. Dave, I'm going to throw it over to you now. I just wanted to throw that little bit of trivia out there for you before you go ahead. Give us your thoughts.
Okay. Well, that won't change my mind because I'm kind of with Dwayne and Uthman about who's winning. My thought on if anyone bleeds, I think it's going to be Rhea. I think somebody's going to rip the mask off her and punch her in the nose. And whether either that or she's going to go into the stairs or something by accident. Something's going to happen because, people go out or go into the cage or whatever. Something's going to happen with her. And you're right. I think EO has started. Dwayne said it. EO starts a lot of them. Nia started last year, so it's not going to be Nia. I think it'll be Lash. I agree with Dwayne on that, but I think it's going to be Alexa on the face side. I think it'll be Alexa and Lash starting off, and definitely the faces are going to win. And hopefully, is this AJ Lee's first? She's never been in a WarGames because they just started them a few years ago, so she's going to get her comeuppance in this. But I think she's going to be going after. Obviously, I think one site with her, and that's Becky, and you're going to see them go off against each other, and I don't know who's going to end up finishing off, but definitely faces are winning it.
All right, you feel confident on that one? I'm not very confident with my pick, but I want to hear from this guy. This guy, go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, Aaron, you read my mind because I was going to ask when it was my turn about the history of main roster WarGames, because I watched all of them since they got to the main roster, but obviously I don't keep all that in my head all the time. So that did kind of change what I was going to go with. So the fact that EO pretty much started most of the WarGames matches for the women, it kind of throws me off a little bit because I was going to originally agree with Uthman to a certain degree, but I was going to think based on who's going to win, was it Thursday, tomorrow or Friday for the advantage match.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Okay, Friday. I believe the heels going to get the advantage, and it's going to should, but now it's going to throw me off now that you guys have put in there like EO has started most of the matches other than Nia. So, but I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to go with EO to start the match for the women, and the only reason I'm saying that is because it's going to be Miss Pirate Princess herself is going to be the first person in on the heel side, and then after that it's going to be Asuka. She's going to be in there, and they're going to get their revenge on EO. They're going to beat her down for 3 minutes or 5 minutes intervals? How long is it again? 3. Okay, yeah, they're going to beat her down for that long, and after that, I'm predicting AJ is going to come in. They're going to get the big pop for her first ever WarGames match. So yeah, it's going to be EO, Pirate Princess, followed by Asuka, followed by AJ, and then after that, Becky. That's how it's going to go.
All right, thank you for that, this guy. Appreciate it.
And then, and then who's going to win? Sorry. And in this case, I feel like the Hills should finally win. I could have sworn that the Hills won a match when Rhea was on the heel side, but I guess I was wrong. That's crazy. I could have sworn that Rhea won as a heel in a WarGames match on the main roster, but I'm going with the Hills on this one.
All right, thank you for that. Yeah, 2022, Bianca Belair's team beat Damage Control's team. So that was 2022. 2023, Bianca's team beat. Wait, did I just say that?
Yeah.
That was 2020. What was 2000? Okay, I'm getting confused now. Anyways, go ahead, Oof.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I honestly didn't know the history lesson you just gave us, Aaron. So I feel more confident EO's gonna start off. WWE just loves to brag about their history, and I can hear Michael Cole. This is EO's fourth straight, and they just love to make their own history. So I just feel more confident now because after you said that.
Oh, so they did Team Bianca versus Team Damage Control 2 years in a row. One in 2022 and one in 2023.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So that I just wanted to throw that out there. And then last year, and this is bad that I don't remember this stuff. Rhea's team beat Judgment Day's team with Liv Morgan. So I'm very torn. I'm almost feeling like I need to flip a coin on this one. Also, I'm thinking about the men's match. Both of the matches I'm very torn on. I'm not really sure. But as far as starting the match, I'm going to say Alexa Bliss and Kairi Sane will start the match. Now, as far as who wins this one, it's AJ Lee's second match back. So it's hard to think that she'll lose this one, but I'm not sure. I'm going to say the heels will win this one, but I really don't know. I'm very torn on it. I could see this one going either way. Just to give the heels a little bit of momentum, and I'm sure Charlotte's going to go off and do her own thing soon. So I'll go ahead and say the heels, but I'm not confident with it. Not at all. I could see this one going either way. And same thing with the main event. So let's get to that now. The men's War Games match. Star-studded lineup: Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso versus Brock Lesnar in his first War Games match. Drew McIntyre, so that'll be interesting to see them on the same team. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and everybody's favorite wrestler, better than the AEW roster according to Stevie Richards, Logan Paul. So I will go first on this one because my thought process on this is I think, in my opinion, it would be better for the heels to win. I think they need the win more than the faces to build these guys up. The baby faces need some serious challengers. Like the heels need a significant win to boost them up and make them credible challengers for the champions. Now, having said that, I don't have confidence that is going to happen. My feeling is with CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the flagship guys, and Roman, and you guys know what I say, it's hard to bet against Roman Reigns. And I just cannot bet against Roman in this one. Roman, Cody, and Punk on one team. I just can't fathom them losing. So I'm going to say the faces win. But if I was in charge, I'd go with the heels and give them a strong win and make them look like absolute monsters, destroying your top baby faces and setting up some big title matches for the future, whether it's Saturday night's main event or the Royal Rumble or the January Saturday night's main event. Build up your heels. I don't have confidence they're going to pull the trigger on it. I feel like they're just going to go with the safe, good guys win. Brock Lesnar doesn't play well with others. As Anthony pointed out, Lesnar walks out and he has enough of, there's going to be some, maybe Drew McIntyre gives Lesnar the Claymore by mistake. Lesnar walks out. It's going to be one of those scenarios. Faces win. If the heels win, I'll be happy though. I'd love to see it, but I have to go with the baby faces on that. And starting the match, I'm going to say Jimmy Uso for the baby faces, and we'll say Logan Paul for the heels. That'll be my pick, but I'm not confident on that either. Shout out to Building Nexus, who sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Building Nexus says, do you think the Vision should trust Brock Lesnar? Well, in kayfabe, I would not trust Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, when has he ever been known as a tag guy? He doesn't do tag matches. So it's going to be interesting to see who can coexist in this one, because I do think, regardless of who wins, I think there's going to be some heat on the same team, and people are not going to be getting along, and it's going to be one of those who can you trust scenarios. All right, let's go ahead and get everybody's thoughts. Dwayne, we'll go to you first on this one. Go ahead.
Damn you, Aaron! You almost did it again. I had my head going one way, and you come up there and just bring up Brock Lesnar. I'm gonna go with my gut, dude. I'm tired of taking chances with your predictions, man.
Well, I'm doing terrible. Just for the record, everybody, I'm doing really bad this year. I'm way down from what I usually am at. So probably best to go opposite of what I say. Go ahead.
If I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. I always thought from before Brock Lesnar was even announced for this match that the heels was going over on this one. They're trying to build up Bronson and Bron Breakker and all those guys to be top stars. This is their way to do it. You know, anybody on the face team can eat a pinfall and they're going to be fine about it. You know, it's not going to bring them down or whatnot. I'm going with this one all along. I still think the heels are going to win, and I want to say it's probably going to be a dominant fashion match, quite frankly. As far as who starts it, I'm going to go with well, of course, you're going to have to go with Jey Uso. Between him and Jimmy, they're the ones that always seems to be starting. And I think the Usos have been in every men's war game match as well. I'll go with Jey Uso and Bron Breakker starting the match off.
All right, sounds good. This guy, I will go to you next. So go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Sorry about that. Similar to Dwayne, I had my mind made up originally before you threw those stats in for the women's war game match. This was my win match originally. And I don't know. I kind of want to keep it that way because, like you said, Aaron, heels do definitely need to win. Brock is a part-timer and he's a main man. Like, he's gonna be Brock Lesnar for the rest of his life, so he did good. As for the other heels in that match, they're still up. Well, Bronson and Bron, the Brons, they're coming up. Drew McIntyre is also a made man, but again, he hasn't like won a title for a long term, and since like 2020. And again, I still think that was a mistake. He should have won it when everybody came back to the arenas, not during the pandemic. That being said, sorry, just congestion. That being said, I don't know who's going to start the match. This bonus pick is going to be it's harder than the previous one because excuse me, it could literally be anybody. Well, we know that the top dog, former top dog, Roman Reigns, is not going to start the match. And also, I think that's another reason why the picks are going to lose because you guys are saying Brock can't play well with others. Roman dominated for 5 straight years, and his cousins cowered among him. On top of that, CM Punk had to do the Chris Jericho from 08-09, which is save us from Roman Reigns, or try to as well. Same thing with Cody Rhodes. Like those three guys in universe have the big beef with each other anyway. They like what are you talking about? Other than Seth, all 4 of those guys. One of these days, hopefully next year, get a match between all 4 of those guys. But that being said, the faces are going to lose because of those 3 egos by themselves. It's going to implode. As for going to start, it could be any of the Usos. I don't know. I really don't care. You pick me, Aaron. And then as for the heel side, I think it's going to be Bron. Bron is going to just like spear the pin of him, and then again, I think the heels are also going to win the tomorrow match to get the advantage. So I'm basically just going to duplicate it because we know like he's too lazy to write like original stuff. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have the same thing with Pirate Princess and Asuka jumping EO, and then we're going to this one. Bron's jumping one of the Usos. That's what's going to happen. Just a repeat. And for 3 minutes straight beating the crap out of that person, and then the match will go from there. And again, I believe 3 big egos, the 3 former world champions, big champions, will implode and make the Hills win. And Brock they're stable enough because they followed Seth Rollins all year or half the year, whatever. So yeah, that's how it's going to go down.
All right, thank you for that, this guy, and I love you, man. But I think tonight you are the Virtue Award winner, if you know what I'm saying. Dave, we'll go over to you next with your thoughts. Or not? All right, Oofman, we'll go to you next.
All right, we're live, pal. All right. So I agree with what this guy said. I'm picking the heels to win too because what we're saying is, sure, Lesnar is not a tag guy, not a tag specialist. Can the other heels trust Lesnar? Sure, that could be an interesting storyline. But like this guy said, we got two current male singles champions in Cody and Punk. You got Roman, Mr. Should, in his mind, thinking I should be one of these champions. Then we have his cousins who he doesn't want to see till Christmas, but we are still 1 month away. Yeah, exactly. In 2 days, we'll be 1 month away from Christmas. So you got more drama on the face side than the heel side. But as far as Lesnar goes, I mean, I know you said it, Aaron, perfectly. You can't really bet against Roman. Well, I can't really bet against Brock, to tell you the truth. I think Brock is going to be a kid in the candy store in this match. It would be cool to see like dueling spears by him and by Braun Breaker at two different opponents. That would be cool. I just think Brock's going to have a fun time in this match. He's going to be F5ing the living hell out of everybody. I think that's just the prediction there. But as far as who starts it, I'm going to take the opposite of you, Aaron. I'm actually going to say Jey Uso starts with Logan Paul, and they'll probably do like what they did with the Rumble, probably start on opposite ends of the ring and then do an awesome jump. We're going to see a lot of flippity-doos, so Jim Cornette may not be happy with those two guys in the ring. But it should be an entertaining match. But the heels, I think, go over because of like what this guy said. The egos of the faces are going to clash. They're probably going to want to do like a triple move on someone. They're not going to agree upon it. That's where the heels come around. So the drama is more on the face side than the heel side. And I think the heels could use it because it just seems like, again, you have an awesome lineup there. Roman, Cody, Punk, and probably one of the best tag teams ever, the Usos. You got that strong firepower there. So obviously Vegas is going like, put all your chips on the faces. But let's give it to the heels this time. Plus, in the women's match, I think the women faces are going to go over. So I say the heels go over in the men's match. Still going to be a good match. Keep your eye on Brock. I think he's just going to have a fun time spearing people, F5ing people. We're going to lose track on how many German suplexes he's going to give. But I just think this is going to be a really fun match. Just keep your eye on Lesnar, and the heels will go over.
Keep our eyes on Logan Paul as well. He might be jumping off the top of that cage. He'll likely be the one that does the crazy dive off the top. But anyways, let's try one more time. Dave Scheffler.
All right, give me the Virtue Award. I'm happy to take it. I
That's
refreshed.
a toss-up this week between you. You gave this guy a run for his money.
I tried, but what I was saying when my computer crapped out on me is, I know last Monday when they announced Brock, I said in the stream when you were doing the stream that he doesn't play well. But you know what? I thought about it all week, and I said, well, it was a CM Punk. Can CM Punk coexist with Roman last year? And look what happened. So, and then you think about, well, you got both champions on this team. And then Oofman's right about egos. So I think that and also the faces aren't winning both of them. I think the heels are taking this. I think definitely Logan Paul's going to do the spot that Bronson did last year because he's a little more niftier on his feet and stuff, and he's lighter, and I think he will be able to take that fall better or take the bump way better than Bronson did. And I think I'm like Oofman. I think it's going to be an Uso against Logan at first, but I think Jimmy's starting the match. I think it's going to be Jimmy and Logan starting the match, and then the heels going over because they got to get the vision. If they're going to keep the vision together, and maybe Drew will be a part of the vision, we still don't know. They got to have him get a big win here.
Well, I agree, Dave, and that's why I said like I would be happy if the Vision won this one, but I I just have a hard time believing they're going to pull the trigger on it. Shout out to this guy who sent in $2. Thank you. Says, only once you lost if you bet on Brock last man standing. Well, I think Brock's walking out. That's what I think. He's just going to have enough. Drew's going to kick him in the face by mistake, and he's going to be out of there. But we'll see what happens. Wait, this guy, you want to add something to that?
Well, why'd you say Drew's going to kick Brock in the face? But I was referring to the only time that you could bet that you lost if you bet on Brock was last minute match between him and Roman Reigns a couple years ago. Match.
Which match?
Was it the last
match? Last man standing, Brock and Roman.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, that's the only time. Like if you bet on Brock in that situation that you lost. Other than that, it's a safe bet to bet on Brock. He's usually even if you put him against Roman, he's usually win that match. But yeah, why would Drew kick Brock in the face? Never mind.
Accident.
Yeah, it could be a mistake. There's probably someone that Drew's going for a Claymore kick. He ducks, and there's Brock, and then oops.
And Brock takes it the wrong way. He's like, F you guys. I was doing you a favor, and you kicked me in the face. I'm out of here.
Well, he'll probably return the favor and F you, Drew, and then, yeah, like you said, he walks out. But now we go back to what everybody was complaining about, blood and guts. Now anybody can just freely leave the cage, so...
Well, Brock could, rip the cage open with his bare
That would
hand.
be a cool... Well, yeah, that would be cool, yeah.
Just be like, I'm done. But the great thing about this is I feel like we all see different ideas of where this is going.
Or Braun Breaker can spear somebody through the cage.
He might. That would be cool. I'd love to see that. Like Bronson and Bron could do like a double team move, like break the cage or something crazy like that, or put somebody through the ring. There's a lot of interesting things they can do, and we'll see what they can come up with, and if they can. I just want to see some new types of spots in the WarGames matches, because it's a lot of the same thing. Like we've seen EO jumping off with the trash can. I'm hoping we'll get some new moments in the matches, and I think they'll be great, and I'm looking forward to the show. And I do feel like there is some unpredictability with these matches. I think that it's not a given that any one person is a surefire favorite. We'll see what happens. WarGames coming up November 29th, Saturday, San Diego, California. Let's go ahead and do our plugs. This guy, I'll start with you. What do you have for us? Oh, wait, that's wrong one. Good. This guy experiences plug. Guess he didn't want to come.
So, sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Yeah, so like I was saying to myself in that situation, my wife does crochets. This is something she's working on. I think she's finished with this. It's a cardigan, not the band. If you can see it, I might be too close or too far away. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, she has stuff like that she makes all the time. It's winter's coming, no AEW. So she does gloves, hats, great hats actually, scarves, which I really don't know the purpose of scarves that much. Like it doesn't really keep you warm. But yeah, just go to her IG, go to her Facebook page, and just order some stuff. Give her like a couple weeks, and she'll get it out to you.
All right, thank you for that. This guy, Dave, anything you would like to plug or promote? Oh no!
Just say yes to NoDQ, as me and Matthew like to say. Give the thumbs up to our videos and get some shirts from there. Buy some shirts from NoDQ.com.
It is neck and neck between these guys tonight. This guy and Dave, who's winning the virtual award. Chat room, you were listening in, or people watching on demand in the comments. Who won the virtual award this week? Let us know. Oof, we'll go over to you. I don't know if you were in the running. I think your connection was pretty on par this week. So, Oof, any final thoughts, predictions, any final plugs? Go ahead.
Just I hope it's a good show on the weekend. I hope they chill with the commercials, but it is what it is. Welcome to the TKO era. But again, gentlemen, so much. Thank you so much for letting me join again. Again, check out my channel, Gammon with Oof. New video cut will be uploaded tomorrow. I have finally finished the great book of The Last Heart Beating. That's Natalia's book. Overall, it was wow, is all I have to say. I love autobiographies, especially from wrestlers. And it was a really dang good book. She gets really deep into it. Like I said, I'll try to do a spoiler-free type review of it, but some things might slip because there's just some things that she gets into that makes your mind blown. And if you know her story, I mean, obviously we know the great Jim the Emma Neidhart, may God rest his soul. She is a member of the Hart family. So I'm going to go into it with my breakdown of the book. Get it. I mean, if you do like wrestling books, this is a dang good wrestling book to read. And so I highly recommend it. And like I said, I'll have my breakdown / try to keep it spoiler free of the Natalia book. And it's available on Audible as well. So if you like to listen to books when you're at the gym or when you're driving, it is available on Audible, or get the hard copy as well. But like I said, look out for my channel. I will have an official review. And again, try to keep it spoiler free video of her awesome book here.
All right. Thank you, Oof. Much appreciation to you. Dwayne, we'll go ahead with you. Any final thoughts or predictions or something to plug?
I have nothing to plug at all, but I want to give us another great double thumbs up prediction show for you guys. It's great seeing it. I love talking wrestling. I love anything wrestling related to me is pretty much how I go with it. But Survivor Series is going to be a great stream. Looking forward to it. Thanks again for having me, Aaron. And for once, I wanted to say it's great to have the band back together again. Dave, welcome aboard, man.
All right. That's all we got for tonight. Thank you again for watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's all we got for tonight. Have a great night. Take care. NoDQ.com will have live coverage of Survivor Series. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and we'll see you all next time.
Buy a shirt in the book.
That's right.